Hey, Hammer 357 mag here. I picked up two of the Coghlan's Flint Strikers to incorporate as part of my fire starting kits for Camping and WROL. The price point, let's see, I picked up both of them at Dick's Sporting Goods for $6.50 each. That included tax and free shipping as I did a $100 order. Let's take a quick look at the Flint Striker features that are advertised on Dick's Sporting Goods homepage. There's a ferroceronium fire starting tool. Ferroceronium is a man-made metallic material that gives us a large number of spark at temperatures at 3,000 degrees when scraped against a rough surface such as a ridged steel. They also say it lasts for thousands of strikes. When they say thousands, that's more than one. So that would basically mean 2,000 or more. You need to push the striker down the rod to emit strikes. So what they're saying is you push the striker down the rod to emit sparks, which is nice. If you go to the Coghlan's website, they say using the supplied striker bar or the backside of your pocket knife, slide the rod along the striker bar perpendicular to the knife, pull the rod backwards away from the fire starter material, and keep the striker bar stationary. So what they're saying is that their site says you pull this away versus Dick's site which says you push it down. The striker and the bar is fireproof in solid form, which I wonder why they paint it black. The tool works in any weather condition, even when wet, at any altitude. Of course, that should be clarified. If you're at a high altitude where there is minimal or no oxygen, it's probably not going to work. This comes with a handle, a striker, a fire rod, and cord. So this is the handle, the striker, this is the fire rod, this is the cord. Okay, the first thing you do is remove the coating in the rod. This is a pain but doable. Okay, you're basically going to get on this and you have to remove the paint on here before you can strike on it, which is, again, why do I need to do this? If in its solid form it's not combustible. I think I've got some off of there. Anyway, I used the fire striker for several weeks, and I've identified several issues with it. Basically, this lanyard is too short. And to demonstrate, if you're going to strike the fire on it, the cord is so short that when you get to the end, your hands is pulled away. Okay, so what happens is you start short stroking it because you get that feeling that you're not going to really be able to get a good strike without it pulling on your hand. So that creates a problem. The other problem is the striker provided, as it is on this lanyard, it's got basically sharp edges on it. I mean, I can see it being sharp here because you want to get the fire rod sparking, but they've continued with it here. It's pressed out, and so when you hold it in your hand here and you strike it, this starts digging into your fingers, and what happens is, these things don't light in the first shot, and since it's got the short lanyard on it, and you're short stroking it, it takes several times, maybe 3, 4, 5, to get a fire started, and as a result, you know, it starts digging into your hand. And the other thing to note is that after 2 weeks of use, the rod came free from the holder, which, let me show you here what we got. Here's the rod, and here's the holder. So whatever they use to hold it together, and it looked like there was some kind of glue or epoxy in there, it just didn't hold. So what I'm gonna do is, for my fixes on this, I'm gonna remove and toss the lanyard and the striker, because I really don't think the lanyard's long enough, and from a personal experience, the striker just hurts my hand. So we're going to toss those away. That's not going to work. And then what I want to do, and what I plan to do is take this knife, which is a cold steel roach belly, and use the back of it to strike the striker. And you can see it's got some jimping on there, and that jimping will help get a strike on this. It's not quite as edged as this piece, but over time it will work better. It fits nice in the hand, and you can hold it like this, and that jimping gets on there, and it will really do a good job. I'm convinced of that. Now the next thing I'm going to do to fix this is I'm going to take some JB Weld and mix that up, and I'm going to put that in the holder and put the rod back in it and bond it. So with the JB Weld, you need 2 equal parts of the black and the white, and I don't need much here. So we'll try to get them about equal. Those look about equal. I mean, you have to eyeball that stuff in, since I didn't want to pay the extra for the measurer. And then you mix that up till it's I've been told, a dark gray, which I think we're getting there. Of course, the tool I'm using here is a match stick. So that's a dark gray. I mean, looks dark gray to me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this JB Weld, and I'm just going to get it in here. I may put a little, you know, as much as I can in here, so there's an adequate amount so it will adhere to the back of the hole and all the sides. And then I'm expecting when I put, in which I think I got plenty now, the fire rod in there, it'll probably push out some extra, which doesn't bother me right now. So we'll see, we're getting it in, and yeah, that's a good fit. And it looks like it's going to seal 360 degrees on that. So using this weld, it takes about 24 hours for it to settle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to let it settle for 24 hours, and I'm going to come back, and then we're going to see if it'll strike. So I'll be signing off now.
Hey, Hammer 357 mag back. Okay, it's been 24 hours. The Coghlan's Flint Striker has been welded together with the epoxy. And you can see I've done a mod to the lanyard. I've increased it about 1/3 in length, with it keeping in mind that I want to EDC this. So I'm still going to leave this striker attached. However, when I'm camping or someplace where I can carry extra knives and whatnot, I still plan to use the roach belly. So let's see if the mod works. I'm going to light up this cotton ball to see if I can get a decent spark with the jimping on the back of the roach belly. As you can see, I got the cotton ball started. There was absolutely no problem with my hands, no irritation, no hurting. So that's a definite improvement. However, I do notice that since this blade is longer than this, this blade had a tendency to strike the surface, which in a real situation could be an issue with your tinder. But we'll have to sort that out. But from a performance standpoint, this is much better in the hand, and I felt no pain over here. Now what we're going to do, let's move this back, is we'll start it using the original striker and see if we can see how fast this will strike up. I can see that this is getting more spark on it than the jimping from the knife. But I'm still getting that short stroke, even though I've increased it by a third. It's now starting to hurt my fingers. And since it's hurting my fingers, my tendency to strike it hard is falling off. You'd have thought that would have started it. Yeah, that's hurting too much. I need to go back to the roach belly. Again, no pain on the fingers from this. Is just, as usual, these strikers have a tendency not to be that accurate. Let's go back to this one. This is why they need thousands of strikes, because it's pretty hard to do this. Key is to get a good flash out of these. There we go. Again, the spark coming off this is at 3,000 degrees, and the easiest thing to start is a cotton ball dry. Problem is getting those sparks where you want them, so it does take a while to get those things sparking. Okay, well that's it for this video. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Remember, long live rock and roll and the American dream.